Welcome to Maranatha Minute with Bishop Richard Frank. Maranatha Minute is a production of Maranatha Ministries, UPC. For the next 5 to 7 minutes, Bishop Frank will talk about various topics that will help and encourage you in your walk with God. Your comments are both encouraged and appreciated. Be sure to like us on Facebook, and follow us on YouTube, and be sure to click the bell so you'll always know when we go live. Now relax, and be blessed by this week's version of Maranatha Minute.
And greetings, everyone. So good to have you joining me in this evening's edition of Maranatha Minute on this beautiful, another warm day. I want to apologize. We had some kind of an audio problem last week. I'm not even sure what it was. I tried to go back and see what the technical difficulty was. I don't know. Something I did wrong that caused my audio not to come through. I trust everything is coming through fine in today's version of Maranatha Minute. I do want to say that we had a tremendous service, two tremendous services this past week, and I'm going to talk to you about what I did during the second service. But Sister Shoshana Frank Roush, my daughter, did the preaching in both 8:30 and 10:30 services. It was tremendous, powerful. If you were not able to be there, I encourage you to get on YouTube, right wherever you're listening to this, possibly, except unless you're listening to this on my personal Facebook page, but on our church Facebook page, Maranatha's Facebook page, or Maranatha's YouTube page. And you can find either one by going to either venue and searching Maranatha Ministries UPC. You'll come right to our site. I encourage you to listen to Shoshana's message from this past Sunday. It was just powerful, powerful. She's a dynamic speaker, and I think we're going to have her in the pulpit a little more often every once in a while. So at any rate, let's get into tonight's discussion here on Maranatha Minute. And I want to talk to you about what this week's LifeGroup theme is on. And that's the fact that Jesus is our burden bearer. And if you're not in a life group, I want to encourage you to get a hold of Sister Shoshana Frank Roush, and she's our life group director. She will get you involved in a life group. We have life groups going every night of the week except for Wednesday evenings, so there's surely going to be a life group that works for you. And I want to encourage you to get involved in life groups because they're really, really a powerful and personal time to talk and to converse and to feel the presence of the Lord and to be instructed in the Lord. So I want to encourage you to get involved in the life group. But this week's life group is on Jesus being our burden bearer. This was also our Sunday school theme of this past week. And this past Sunday was the fifth Sunday of the month. Now, anytime there's a fifth Sunday of the month, what I do is I go over to the Sunday school building and I have children's church, and this past week, Sister Shoshana preached for me. It's various preachers that preach for me whenever there's a fifth Sunday of the month, and I go over to the Sunday school and I do Sunday school. I have children's church over there, and it's a time for me to connect with our kids. This past Sunday, there weren't a lot, just a few kids there. And that's because it seems like this was the weekend for everybody to be away on vacation. Our church numbers were down. Our Sunday school numbers were down, which is typical in the summertime. But for some reason, this was the week that either everybody was gone on vacation or away for the weekend, at least. In fact, some came to the 8:30 service and then had to leave early, and so they weren't at the 10:30 service, and so their kids, those kids weren't in Sunday school. So we just had a small group, but it was good because it was a way for me to connect personally with just a smaller group. And I'll tell you what we did, and it was a lot of fun. And you're not going to do this during your life groups, I know, but I did it during Sunday school, and I want to relay to you what I did with these kids because the subject is on Jesus being our burden bearer. And I went over there and I brought an old blanket with me that I use to cover things, like if I'm working and I'm trying to keep things clean, I have an old blanket I throw over. So I didn't mind dragging this blanket across the floor. I also brought 2 of my 50-pound dumbbells over with me. And what I did was I had the kids come up, each one of them individually, and grab that blanket and walk across the floor, whether it was a linoleum floor. I had it right out in the kitchen. I didn't go in the Sunday school sanctuary. I just did it right out in the kitchen. And we just dragged that blanket across the linoleum floor in the large kitchen there, fellowship area. And I showed him how easy it was, and I explained to him that this is how we tend to want our lives to be. We want it to be easy. We want to just, fly through life and have everything go well. And then I took one of the 50-pound dumbbells and I laid it on the blanket. I said, now pull it. And some of the older kids were able to pull it with a little difficulty, a little more struggle. Some of the little kids, had a real hard time pulling it. And then I said, well, see how hard that is to pull that? And then I took the second 50-pound dumbbell and I threw that on the blanket. I said, now pull it. Well, the little ones couldn't even move it. And the older ones were able to pull it, but with no little difficulty. And so what I did was I showed them how our walk with God is. And this is really, in simplistic terms, this is how our walk with God is. Burdens get laid on us, hardships, difficulties. They get laid on our shoulders. And we try to make it through life with these things. And what we really want is we want Jesus to take away all of our troubles. And the problem is that some people get discouraged. They come to church thinking that Jesus is going to take away all their troubles and their lives will be carefree and all their burdens gone, all their hardships gone. And I explained to the children, I said, this is not the way life is. Because Jesus, although he does heal, he does do wonderful things. He does do the miraculous. He does deliver us from a lot of things. He doesn't always deliver us from everything. And we still have to carry burdens through this life. But here's the difference. I had this kids pull the blanket with 100 pounds on there and how hard it was. And they struggled to fight it. And then I walked up beside them and I grabbed hold of the blanket and I walked with them and helped pull it. And all of a sudden they were able to pull that load. And I said, this is exactly what Jesus does for us sometimes. He doesn't always come and remove the weights. And he doesn't always come and remove the problems or remove the cares, but he does come and help us bear the burden. He helps us carry the load. He's our burden bearer. He helps us along the way, helps us get through difficult times. And I think it was a great understanding, because I've seen people walk away from God, come to the church, stay involved with church for a little while, and then start disappearing. And you wonder what happened to them. You wonder why finding Jesus, even getting baptized, some of them even being filled with the Holy Ghost. You wonder why anyone receiving that wonderful experience would walk away from God. And the answer is because, unfortunately, some people come to God with the wrong expectations. They come to God with a burdened, a care-burdened life, problems that are bigger than they can bear. And they've come to God expecting that if they give their life to Jesus, he will fix every one of their problems. He will take every one of their burdens away. He will remove all the hardships. And what they find is that he doesn't always do that. And when he doesn't do that, they get discouraged. And what they're doing by getting discouraged and not continuing to walk by faith is that they are stiff-arming Jesus, who's wanting to come and help them carry those burdens. And they're keeping him from doing that. And they're struggling along and they're fighting their own battles and bearing their own burdens because they want one of two choices. Either Jesus take them away or I'm going to go look someplace else. And he doesn't always take them away. Sometimes he helps us carry them and helps us get through life. And so I want to encourage you to never give up, even though the burdens seem heavy and the struggle seems hard, to turn to the Lord and call upon his name. I want to read to you words from a song that's called Casting All Your Care. It's written by the family, a group called the Clark family. And if you understand this, you'll understand what we mean about Jesus being helping us bear our burdens, being our burden bearer, not relieving us from them, but giving us the strength sometimes to carry. And listen to what these words say. Daniel found him faithful in a lion's den. He didn't remove him from the lion's den. He found God faithful in that lion's den. He sent fire down from heaven when Elijah called on him. And though Joseph was forsaken, he was rewarded with the throne. He went through a lot before we finally got to the throne. a lot. We've talked about that in previous life groups. And if you're in a life group, you know what we're talking about. He found when Joseph was forsaken, he was rewarded with the throne. And when David felt his heart would break, he could sing this song: every need supplied, every moment satisfied, and every time I call his name, I know I'll find him just the same. That's what living for God's all about. That's what living with God is all about. It's him helping us bear our burdens. The song goes on to say, there are times when the valleys seem to go on forever, times when the night never seems to end, times when our load seems so heavy that we feel the next step will be our last. The good news is that these things will not last forever. One day soon, we will reach the end of this road and we will step out of this life of troubles and trials into an eternity free from even the hint of pain. That's what we live for God for. We don't live for God for the present day. The present day, life is filled with troubles. He helps us with those troubles. He helps us carry those troubles. We live for God for the day that's coming, the day when we step out of all of this onto heaven's shores. Romans 8:28, we know that for those who love God, all things work together for the good to those who are called according to his purpose. We know all these things are working together for his good. So let me wrap this up today by simply saying he has promised to get us through, not always deliver us from, but get us through even the worst of times. So don't ever stop praying. Don't ever stop worshiping. Don't ever stop going to church. Don't ever stop lifting your hands and singing the songs of Zion. Don't ever stop putting a smile on your face. Don't ever stop singing. Don't ever stop worshiping. And don't ever stop telling someone else about his wonderful grace. Because even when you're in the lion's den or in the burning fiery furnace, you can look around and see that Jesus is there with you. And you can tell others, Jesus makes the difference. He makes all the difference. God bless you all. Remember, you have a burden bearer. His name is Jesus. And if he does not remove the load, he will give you the strength to carry it. God bless you all. I hope I see you back in church this Sunday. I'm looking forward to having a wonderful time in the presence of the Lord, worshiping the Lord with you. God bless you.